And in my favorite word salad tease of the week, we have 12 valiant monkeys spacewalking while cosplaying angels from Ringworld. Oh yeah, it's Slice.
Covering all the news from every dark corner of the universe. Slice of SciFi.com.
And winning the award for the best word salad tease of the week. I'm Michael Armenegay, giving it up to Sam Roberts. Awesome.
Here, you get to go next since we're applauding you.
I'm going to be doing that for teases until we're all tired of it, because that's super fun. I'm Sam Roberts.
Hilarious.
Well, for the people who weren't watching, Sam was doing a really big happy dance for that.
I was driving the bus.
Yeah. I'm Ben Raggington.
And after a tease like that, how can you not want to stay and listen to the rest of this show?
Truly.
Oh, very good.
I'm Noah Richmond.
Yeah. And I just told Sam I'm using 12 Valiant monkeys in my everyday life. I don't know how, but I'm using it.
Let's get to some news. See what this is all about.
I don't think the news can live up to that.
No. That was way too good.
Not.
Your
So
news team
depressing.
is next.
That's what I'm afraid
It's all
of.
downhill from here.
It's not, because we have news about what? Valiant Comics.
There you
There's your
go.
first clue. On November 13th, Valiant Comics will unveil its first super team title, Unity. Written by Matt Kint with art by Doug Braithwaite and Brian Reber, Valiant is making a push with this new action epic title as big as the one done for the launch of Valiant with XO Manowar. For the first time, Valiant's heroes will unite in an ongoing series with one mission: come together to kill a king and maybe set a country free in the process.
Okay.
Yeah, XO Manowar has returned to Earth with a powerful weapon, determined to carve out a new home for the last of his people, and decides that Romania will do.
It usually does.
His rogue actions forced Toyo Harada to convince some of the most powerful and most dangerous heroes, Livewire, Ninjack, and the Eternal Warrior, to join him to stop XO Manowar.
Ninjack. I mean,
Ninjack.
really, Ninjack. How much better can you get there?
I'm on board with
I'm there.
Ninjack. Oh, yeah.
I just had no idea that Valiant Comics was still around.
They're back.
They're making
that's
a-
what I was
they're
gonna say.
making a
Did they go on-
resurgence.
Surge, yeah.
Yes.
So hopefully all these powerful heroes can avoid destroying each other before they, save the day. In another Valiant first, Unity number 1 will be 100% returnable for qualifying retailers and will feature 5 limited exclusive variants from an all-star lineup of artists, which is, of course, these are available to fans who pre-order. So Brian Hitch from The Ultimates, Age of Ultron, J.G. Jones, Final Crists, Wanted, Travel Foreman from Animal Man,
Final Crisis. I'm sorry.
Is it Final
Yeah,
Crisis?
J.G. Jones is
yeah.
Final Crisis.
Oh, there's a typo. But Final Crisis, Wanted. Everybody
you
knows
go.
Wanted. Paolo Rivera from Daredevil and Clayton Crane from Ghost Rider and Carnage. That's quite a lineup.
Oh, yeah.
Legendary artist Neil Adams will also contribute an incentive cover for issue number 1.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
It is very, very cool.
Ninjack, people. Ninjack. I should have put that in the
Ninjack.
tease.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking about comic books, if you
There
go,
you go.
to
It's
while
Comic
I do
Book
the
Day.
thing, if I can find the bug, there it is.
comicbookday.com.
It's comicbookday.com. The only reason I bring it up is there's 2 interviews there. There's 2 new ones. If we're talking like Valiant and Resurgence from the 90s,
Uh-huh.
this is kind of a horrible segue, but there's a Wendy
Richard
Peeney and Richard Peeney
ElfQuest.
ElfQuest, which is from the 80s, so
Yeah.
Right.
a little bit further back.
Well,
but it's a follow-up
that's
to
still
like
going
Ben's.
on.
Yeah, it is still going on.
Still
You're
going
right.
on.
And it's like a follow-up to Ben's, and they talk about their con going at San Diego Comic-Con, so that's cool. And then there's another one, and it's really cool, and I feel bad because I totally can't remember the guy's name. Shoot. But he wrote Bigfoot, Sword of the Earthman, and he describes it as like Flash Gordon meets Conan the Barbarian, and it looks really cool, and there's a really good interview with him on there too. So people
Awesome.
should go there.
And that's where you should go for all your comic book news.
Oh yeah, and that too. Always go there.
Well, the mysterious water leak that cut short a certain spacewalk back on July 16th, well, if you thought it was scary, believe me, it really was. It was because it began filling the helmet of astronaut Luca Parmitano, and it interfered with his communication system and affected his ability to see and hear. in space.
That freaks me
Wow.
out. Have we all seen the Gravity trailer with Sandra Bullock just
Yes.
floating out into space? So imagine,
Yes.
and that's the guy that was remote controlling the robot. We did a story about it earlier in
Yeah.
the week. Oh my, yee.
Now, this incident, it was funny because when we were talking about gravity, we were just saying, luckily there haven't been any accidents that were EVA. Well, here we go. There was this. As the incident did cause for the planned 6.5-hour spacewalk to be cut down just to 92 minutes. That's a little bit terrifying, and I believe we have a video.
Hi, I'm NASA astronaut Chris Cassidy on board the International Space Station. And last week, myself and Luca Parmitano did a spacewalk in which we had a problem with the inside of his suit. There was leaking cooling water somehow into his ventilation system, and that water got into his helmet. Don't know the exact specifics right now. The engineers and all the people in Houston are working on the problem and trying to figure it out, and we'll do some troubleshooting soon. But I wanted to show you where the water was coming from. So this is Luca's helmet, and the ventilation air comes into the helmet through this port right here, and then goes behind the crew member's head, and then blows the air across the front of your face. Well, with water, a mixture of water and air getting into this vent port, the water bubbles started to build up behind this white plastic piece. Once the water got big enough that it went all the way around and started coming outside the edge of the white plastic, then it saturated his communication cap, and sort of capillary flow just brought the water all around his head, and he had water on and it filled up in his ear cups, and it started to creep into his eyes and covered his nose. Scary situation. The ground teams worked really well to give us some direction, and as a team we got everybody back and everything was fine. But the water would continue. If it had continued to leak much more, it would have been really serious. So that was our problem. That was our spacewalk. And planned for 6.5 hours, and it was about an hour and 45 minutes or so. So don't know if we'll get it rescheduled, but we'll see. And the most important thing is that the suits are determined to be safe, so that whenever the next folks get outside, that everything works well for them.
Wow. I tell you what,
Beginning to get serious.
That's
Holy
spooky
cow.
stuff. I mean, suffocating or drowning in zero gravity because of a little bit of water.
Dude.
Yeah,
wow.
it's not even like you can get away from the water. What are you going to take your helmet off? Oh my god,
Yeah.
that is so. Oh, it's frightening.
Yeah, that is frightening.
And one of the scary things is you got to realize, when they really began to detect what was going on, how far away were they from the air hatch?
Right.
Yeah, right?
Because you don't exactly just it's not just like walking across the house here and
Yeah.
boom, you're
No.
there. No, it takes time.
It takes a lot of time. I mean, it's that stuff that people don't think about. You know, the easy stuff here with gravity and not being contained in something that takes 15 minutes to get out of. So it's interesting stuff, folks. Yeah. And with that, I think we're going to take a quick break, catch our breath a little bit, and watch something interesting.
Hello, Slice of Sci-Fi. This is Father Beast with a random geek moment. Okay, so I'm a truck driver, and the other day I was backing up a truck into a dock, and the sun was nice and low in the sky and shining in my right side window as I was backing up. And I'm looking out the right side window, and the window's rolled up, and the light is refracting off the inside window. It's also refracting off the the front windshield, which it's also streaming in, and off the safety glasses that I'm required to wear at work. And furthermore, as I start backing past another truck, the light starts bouncing around, coming in their window and out their side window and into my side window and into my thing, and I've got light bouncing around about 20 different directions. And I said, "My gosh, this is like being in a J.J. Abrams movie."
Lens flare!
Nice.
I was expecting something like, and it generated this amazing holographic effect. No.
Yeah.
Lens flare.
I was
Lens
expecting a
flares.
sciencey thing too. I was like, "Ooh, what kind of scientific phenomenon did he see?" J.J. Abrams phenomenon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Syfy is taking inspiration from several new series pilots from the silver screen. The first one is based on Terry Gilliam's time travel movie. What? Can you guess? 12 Monkeys!
12 Valiant Monkeys.
Syfy is exploring whether the concept can be sustained for a series run of 13 episodes or longer.
Okay.
They are also proceeding with development on Dominion, a new series based on the movie, if you remember it, about warring angels called Legion.
Oh, yeah.
It was mediocre, but it had some good ideas. The new project will be a dark fantasy series similar to the CW's hit series Supernatural. Rock on, yeah.
Actually, Legion was awesome up until the last 30 minutes, and then it just lost me.
I'm saying it had a lot of good ideas, but there was some...
It was creepy. It was cool. I loved them being in the diner, all the really cool stuff, the suspense, and then they told us what was happening.
And then it got cheesy,
it's
right?
like, what? Really? This is what we waited 30 Okay.
But
whatever.
Paul Bettany was great in it.
Yeah, he was.
So the original director of Legion, Scott Stewart, will direct the pilot and serve as an executive producer on the show.
I'm excited about that,
Yeah,
actually.
I'm interested to see that. Vaughn Wilmot, who is also writing the upcoming sci-fi miniseries Ringworld, based on Larry Niven's five-book series,
really?
is writing and co-producing the Dominion pilot.
Okay.
It's keeping
So
busy.
a lot of stuff going on with
liking
Syfy.
that.
Okay, so Heroes of Cosplay is Syfy's newest competition docu-series,
Speaking of sci-fi.
and it's going to follow 9 players as they explore the process for designing stunning costumes that wow convention goers and genre fans alike. And all you got to do is go to a Comic-Con. You're going to see some of the most amazing
Absolutely.
cosplay ever. And that's really where all the fun is at.
Absolutely.
So we've got a sneak preview. I think
Yay.
we should take a look at it.
Absolutely.
It's more than a hobby.
I have to have this all done. Do you not understand that?
It's a way of life.
We are literally tapping into our rent money at this point.
This is Heroes of Cosplay.
Anything you want to do, anyone you want to be, you can do that through cosplay.
Every year, millions of people help turn fantasy into reality at costuming competitions.
It allows me to be the parts of me I wish I was in everyday life.
SciFi follows the hottest cosplay stars as they imagine and design their favorite characters to compete for the cosplay crown.
First place! This is definitely an ambitious project.
It's going to be electroluminescent wire.
That's incredible!
Every single strand needs to be markered, and that's going to be a good 15 to 30 hours.
Even one little piece of plaster touches this, then she'll be entombed in plaster forever.
Your lines here are a little uneven.
It's from hell. There's no straight lines in hell. This is the head of our creature suit. We're just gonna keep doing bigger and better things.
I got bad news for you.
Are you telling me we can't get it done in time?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
Made that in 4 days. I had goosebumps. Oh no! That's kind of shocking. Going up against her is insane. I'm actually getting a little bit scared. Her stuff is looking awesome. I have never competed before. Yeah, this is your first one. We're getting set up for thousands of people to witness this hot mess unfold.
These lights have to stay on.
My heart is beating like a million miles an hour right now.
I've got this thing in the bag, for sure.
Oh my.
What are your superpowers?
Paper cuts? Bring it! There's a moment where every single person thinks, I wish I could be that character. We cosplayers don't just think, I wish I could be that character. We do everything we can to become that character.
Heroes of Cosplay, a sci-fi original series, premieres Tuesday, August 13th at 10:30, right after Face Off. Imagine greater.
fascinating, awesome stuff. Yeah. And I think exactly they're putting Face Off and this together.
Perfect.
It's absolutely perfect. It needs to be together. And I tell you, if you've ever been to a convention, folks, you know how amazing these costumes are. And I think this was a natural, inevitable thing.
Obviously, it had to happen.
Smart.
Absolutely.
Because it's like the amateur version of Face Off. I mean, I don't want to call cosplayers amateurs because they obviously spend a lot of work. But it's like they don't get paid to do that.
Right.
They use their own money to do it.
There's no profession in that right now unless they become costume designers.
Some people on the internet can kind of do it.
Yeah.
Like they can kind of get into the photography and things like that, but it's hard.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what? Actually, speaking of that, we got a convention coming up, and one of the biggest ones there is, DragonCon. So I tell you what, folks, tell us whether or not you're actually going to be going there, because we may have an assignment for you, because we're not going to make it again for another year, because we're on the other end of the freaking world. And it's
so we're
really
asking
difficult.
you people to be our roving reporters.
Absolutely.
You go out there, you go into the dealer's room, you film what's there, you meet people, talk to everybody there, and tell us what it's all about. Tell us what it's like. What do you think about DragonCon?
And use that wonderful iPhone app. I know most of you have iPhones. There's a lot of iPhones out there. If you don't, borrow one. and use that. Show us some really awesome things. Go up to the dealers' tables. Go around and snap us some really awesome
be a
cosplay
roving slice
stuff.
reporter.
Hey, since we can't go, we need to live vicariously through you.
That's it. Yeah, we don't get to experience it unless you experience it for us.
And Ben, if somebody wants to use the iPhone app, what way did they hold that?
It needs to be this way. This is bad. Vertical, very bad.
For those of you
horizontal,
listening,
very good.
Landscape,
not
landscape
good. Portrait bad.
Like this guy who knows how to do it very, very well.
All right, Slicers. DragonCon's coming, and I got a pack. See, we got the bracer. Okay, goggles, very important. Yeah, probably do the steampunk Star Trek thing again. Gotta do that. What else do I need in here? Man, this is gonna take forever. I'll get back to you. This has been, as always, a little frazzled, surreal.
And I know we're going to get a lot of good stuff from Surreal.
I expect a lot of from Surreal.
Absolutely.
We should have one show with just Surreal. He should send us like a 20-minute video, and it'll just be him.
Or just a whole bunch of clips.
Wander the entire DragonCon.
That's right. He can be he can be one of our major rover reporters. But anybody can be.
Oh yeah.
That's the nice thing about it. If you send us really cool stuff, we'll do something with it. Absolutely.
We'll throw it onto the Facebook page first. We'll throw it on the Facebook Slice of Sci-Fi Facebook page.
There you
for
go.
Everybody to see, but we'll make a point of showing it here as well.
Absolutely.
I've just watched the BBC announce live who the new Doctor is, an actor called Peter Capaldi. I think he's an absolutely fantastic choice. He's an absolutely brilliant actor. I've nothing against the younger Doctors, but it's nice to see that they are capable of casting someone that isn't a very young person. So I suspect Peter will be a controversial choice. Certainly you won't want kids watching his back catalogue. If you've ever watched a programme called The Thick of It, or a movie called In the Loop, where he plays a government spin doctor called Malcolm Tucker, you'll understand why you wouldn't want kids watching that. But I think he's an inspired choice. It's fantastic that we've got a Doctor Who fan playing the Doctor, in the same way that David Tennant was a Doctor Who fan. I was expecting to be disappointed today, and I am genuinely thrilled. Best news ever. Andrew from England out.
Yeah,
I was too.
Yeah, and
I was very happy.
The awesome thing about that choice is that the odds makers were people were so heavily betting on Peter Capaldi because it had leaked that he might be the choice that they actually shut down betting 12 to 24 hours before the announcement was made. You couldn't place any more bets on it because they were so sure that he was going to be the dude.
And one thing I'm going to add about this, when we had David Tennant, we had a little bit of this really go kind of action. And then when Matt Smith came in, you have a doctor who was just going in 20 different directions simultaneously, speaking so fast that you need to have subtitles on to understand what he's saying. With Peter Capaldi, I'm hoping that we're going to get a more thoughtful, more thinking kind of doctor who will actually try to reason his way out of a situation instead of just bouncing off of walls.
Yeah. And if I can follow on what that caller just said, that I am looking forward to a doctor that's a bit older as well, like going back to a good old-fashioned, maybe not old-fashioned.
It's kind of a return to classic Doctor Who.
Classic.
Right. I've got one last thing to throw out there, and then we're going to call this a show.
Hey guys, Rapidine here. Would you quit bagging on Sharknado? I mean, come on. How often is it that such a great work of... Okay, who am I kidding? It was crap. It was off the hook funny. I watched it with my wife and my 13-year-old daughter, and we just could not stop laughing the whole way through. It was so terribly good.
That's
anyway,
the
if they do a remake, I'll definitely watch it. If they could get all those 90210 folks in there, I will actually line up to watch it in the theater. I mean, come on. That would be the absolute highlight of the day, would be seeing Shannon Doherty get eaten by a shark.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
So the other night, it was encore episode running on SciFi, and I sat down to actually watch it. And I could not watch it just by myself. I had to tweet. So any of you that are actually following me on Twitter got to basically...
You were live tweeting.
I was live tweeting while I was watching it. I had an intervention that happened. Susie the Southern Geek and Jeff Notkin and a couple other people basically all jumped on me and said, "What? Don't do it, and basically talked me out of it because it was just so horrible. Come on, people. It was just so horrible. It was horrible good.
But horrible fun to make fun of.
It was horrible good to make fun of, but I was watching it by myself.
Oh, you got to do that with people.
It's like you can't drink by yourself.
Yeah.
It's not doable. You cannot do that by yourself.
You know, Mike, you have the opportunity to not be alone for the sequel.
I tell you, I can't. You cannot watch this show alone. So
do you know that they crowdsourced the sequel title? Have you heard what it is?
Not yet.
Are you ready?
What?
Sharknado 2, the second one.
The second one.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's actually perfect. That's exactly
That's what happens when Twitter names your sequel.
I expected more from Twitter. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, come on. It's funny.
Awesome. We know. Well, that's going to do it for this show. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Bye.